Stop. Do not put that quarter in the cart. Do not walk through those automatic doors until you understand exactly what you are walking into. You think Aldi is the good guy, right? The underdog fighting inflation? The place where you save 40% on groceries just by bagging your own eggs? Wrong. Aldi isn't a grocery store. It is a finely tuned, psychological Skinner box designed to hack your dopamine receptors and force you to spend money you didn't plan to spend. In the last 10 years, I've analyzed retail algorithms and profit models for some of the biggest chains in the world, and I can tell you, everything in that store, from the lighting to the floor tiles, is a trap. And the biggest trick they pull? It's not the prices. It's the speed. If you think you're saving money, you're actually being played. Stick with me, because today I'm going to deprogram the Aldi cult mindset and show you how to actually beat them at their own game. Listen, I'm Kaka. I've spent over 15 years tearing apart retail supply chains, figuring out who really makes your food and why it costs what it costs. I've looked at the margins, the layouts, and the psychology. And here's the problem with Aldi. It uses a strategy one call panic economics. Most grocery stores want you to linger. They play slow jazz. They pump in the smell of rotisserie chicken. They want you comfortable. Aldi does the opposite. They want you anxious. They want you rushing. Why? Because when you rush, you don't do math. You don't check unit prices. And you definitely don't notice when you're being manipulated. You walk in for milk and eggs, and you walk out with a chainsaw, a scented candle, and a bag of knockoff Doritos. That isn't an accident. That is a calculated billion-dollar formula. Let's start with the one thing everyone talks about, the checkout. We've all been there. You're unloading your cart, and the cashier is scanning items like they're trying to break a land speed record. It feels efficient, right? You think, wow, they respect my time. No, they don't. Aldi cashiers are timed. They are literally scored on items scanned per minute. The target is often over 1,000 items an hour. That's why they sit down. It anchors their center of gravity for faster arm movement. That's why the barcodes on Aldi products are huge. Have you ever looked at a box of Millville cereal? The barcode isn't a little rectangle. It stretches across the entire package. They do that so the cashier never has to flip the box. It scans on the first pass, every time. But here is the dark side of that speed. It creates social anxiety. When the cashier is flinging groceries into the cart at Mach 10, and the person behind you is staring at your back, you enter a state of panic packing. Your heart rate goes up. You stop looking at the prices ringing up on the screen. You just want to get your card in the reader and get out of the line of fire. That is the speed trap. By rushing the transaction, they remove the purchase pain. You don't have a second to think. Wait, did those strawberries ring up at $2.99 or $4.99? You just pay and leave. But it gets worse. The checkout is just how they get you out. The aisle of shame is how they hook you in. Aldi insiders call it the treasure hunt model. You know the aisle, the middle lane, the Aldi finds. One week it's gardening gloves and a waffle maker. The next week it's rain boots and a cat bed. This aisle accounts for an estimated 20% of their sales. Think about that. One aisle. Here is the psychological trick. Scarcity. At Walmart, you know the waffle maker will be there next week. At Aldi, it's here today, gone tomorrow. That triggers a primal fear of missing out, FOMO, in your brain. You see a $15 milk frother, and your brain doesn't ask, do I need this? It asks, will this be here if I come back? The answer is no, so you buy it. They have conditioned you to impulse buy by limiting the inventory. It is brilliant, and it is dangerous for your budget. You go in to save $20 on groceries, and you spend $40 on junk from the middle aisle. You didn't save money. You just shifted your spending. I know this sounds intense. Some of you are probably clutching your quarter right now, thinking, but Kaka, the food is still cheaper. Is it? Or is it just different? There is a massive secret about those off-brand boxes that Aldi doesn't want you to know. It involves the biggest food companies in the world and a little thing called private labeling. If you've ever wondered why the Clancy's chips taste exactly like Lay's, or why the peanut butter tastes suspicious, you need to stick around. In the next video, I'm going to expose the supplier's secret. We're going to find out who actually makes Aldi's food, and I guarantee you, the answer will shock you. But first, if you've ever panic bought something in the aisle of shame that you never used, hit that like button. Let's see how many of us have fallen for the trap. Now, let's talk about the bread. Let's talk about those Benton's cookies that look suspiciously like Oreos, or the Clancy's chips that have the exact same color scheme as Lay's. Most people fall into two camps here. Camp A thinks, this is cheap garbage made in a basement. Camp B thinks, it's the exact same product, just a different label. Here is the truth. You are both being manipulated by something called brand mimicry. Aldi doesn't have its own factories. They aren't baking cookies. They are a logistics company, not a chef. They contract with massive food manufacturers, often the exact same ones that make the name brands, to produce their private label goods. This is called private labeling, and it is the core of their business. About 90% of what is on Aldi shelves is an Aldi exclusive brand. But here's the trick. They design the packaging to trigger your subconscious memory of the big brand. They use the same shade of red as Coca-Cola. They use the same font style as Cheerios. Your brain scans the shelf, recognizes the visual pattern, and assumes the quality is the same. Sometimes it is. There are rumors, some confirmed, some not, that their peanut butter is Jif or their yogurt is Dannon. But often, it's a slightly tweaked recipe. Maybe a little more oil, a little less sugar, or slightly lower grade flour. You aren't paying for the brand tax, which is great. But you also aren't getting the rigorous quality control of the big brands. You are playing Russian roulette with your pantry. And speaking of gambling, let's talk about the section that breaks everyone's heart, the produce aisle. If you shop at Aldi, you know the pain. You buy a bag of peppers on Tuesday, and by Thursday, they are a science experiment. You buy strawberries, and they look beautiful on top, but the bottom layer is fuzzy. Why does this happen? Is Aldi buying old food? No. It comes back to that speed trap we talked about. Aldi operates with a skeleton crew. They don't have stockers whose only job is to rotate the apples and gently mist the lettuce. The produce comes in on pallets. It gets slammed onto the floor, and it stays there until you buy it. Because everything is pre-packaged, bags of onions, bags of oranges, you can't pick and choose. You can't inspect every single lemon. You are forced to buy in bulk units. This is the efficiency tax. They save money on labor by not having anyone inspect the produce. They pass those savings to you. But, and this is huge, if you throw away 30% of the spinach because it rotted in 2 days, did you actually save money? If you paid $2 for a bag of spinach but threw half away, that bag actually cost you $4. Suddenly, Aldi isn't cheaper than Kroger or Walmart. It's just riskier. Now, let's get into the psychology of why you feel better shopping there, even when the produce is risky. It's called the paradox of choice. Walk into a standard American grocery store. How many types of ketchup are there? Hunt's, Heinz, organic, sugar-free, spicy, glass bottle, squeeze bottle. There are like 40 options. Your brain hates that. It causes decision fatigue. It literally burns calories trying to decide which ketchup is the right one. Walk into Aldi. How many types of ketchup are there? One, maybe two. Your brain sighs in relief. Oh, thank God. I don't have to think. I'll just take the ketchup. This feels like a service. It feels convenient. But it's actually a trap for your wallet. Because there is only one option, you stop price checking. You assume, well, this is Aldi, so this must be the cheapest price for ketchup anywhere. Not true. Because you can't compare brands side by side, you lose your frame of reference. I've seen pantry staples at Aldi selling for more per ounce than the generic brand at Walmart, but nobody notices because there's nothing on the shelf next to it to compare it to. They have blinded you with simplicity. So, we have established that they rush you so you don't do math. They trick your brain with lookalike packaging. And they sell you pre-bagged produce that might rot before you get home. At this point, you're probably thinking, okay, Kaka, should I just ban Aldi forever? No, that's the rookie move. The pro move is knowing how to navigate the minefield. There are exactly 5 things you should never buy at Aldi, and 5 things you are literally throwing money away if you buy anywhere else. In the final part of this series, I'm going to give you the Aldi survival guide. I'll tell you exactly what to put in your cart and what to leave on the shelf, so you can actually keep that 40% savings without getting played. If you're ready to stop wasting money on fake deals, keep watching. You do not want to miss the golden rule of the meat department. I promised you the golden rule of the meat department, so listen closely. This is where most people blow their budget without realizing it. Aldi meat is a battleground. You have the never any brand, no antibiotics, no hormones, which is actually fantastic. But then you have the standard vacuum-sealed mystery cuts. Here is the rule. Watch the Wednesday drops. Aldi releases their fresh meat specials on Wednesdays. This is usually where you see the steelhead trout, the seasoned briskets, or the family packs of chicken wings. If you buy these on Wednesday, you are winning. If you see them on Saturday, walk away. Unlike a butcher shop where eyes are on the product constantly, these specials sit. And because all these stores run warmer than typical grocery stores, notice how you never need a jacket in there? The shelf life on meat is strictly a numbers game. Also, check the solution added. If the chicken breast says contains up to 15% chicken broth, you are paying $3.00 a pound for salt water. You are literally buying expensive water. Read the fine print. If the water content is over 5%, put it back. Now, let's build your no-go list. I don't care how cheap it looks. These items are a trap. Number 1. Paper products. Toilet paper, paper towels, plates. The math doesn't work. The rolls are loosely wound. The sheet count is lower. When you calculate the price per square foot, Walmart's Great Value or Costco's Kirkland destroys Aldi every single time. You are paying for air. Number 2. Name brand toiletries. I'm talking about the Old Spice, the Pantene, the Crest toothpaste. Aldi is not a pharmacy. They don't have the volume power to negotiate deals on these brands. You will almost always pay $1 to $2 more here than you would at Target or Amazon. Number 3. The soft produce. We talked about this. Berries, grapes, peaches. Unless you plan to eat them in the car on the way home, don't do it. Their supply chain is too rough for delicate fruit. Stick to the hard produce. Potatoes, onions, carrots, pineapples. Items that can take a beating. Okay, enough negativity. Here is how you rob the place blind. These are the items where Aldi is actually losing the war, and you are winning. Number 1. The chocolate. Remember, Aldi is a German company. In Europe, chocolate standards are stricter than in the US. There, Schoesser and Moser Roth chocolates are legitimate European chocolate. They destroy Hershey's, and they cost half as much. This is the best value in the entire store. Number 2. The cheese section. This is the crown jewel. Their turnover on cheese is insane, so it's always fresh. The specialty cheeses, the Gruyere, the goat cheese, the aged cheddar, are often relabeled high-end brands selling for $4 when they should be $9. Number 3. Baking staples. Flour, sugar, baking soda, vanilla. These are commodities. Sugar is sugar. Flour is flour. There is zero difference between the Aldi, Baker's Corner, and the Gold Medal brand, except the price tag is 50% lighter. This is pure profit for you. Here is the bottom line. Aldi is not your friend. It is a machine. But it is a machine you can operate if you know the manual. Don't let the speed of the checkout rattle you. Don't let the aisle of shame seduce you with candles you don't need. And don't let the simplicity of the store trick you into skipping the math. The quarter you put in that cart is a symbol. It represents an exchange. You are doing the work. You are carting, bagging, and rushing so that you can keep the money. If you shop blindly, they win. If you shop strategically, buying the cheese, skipping the paper towels, and ignoring the impulse buys, you win. I want you to try this on your next run. Skip the middle aisle completely. Go straight for the green zone, items we talked about. Then come back to this video and tell me how much your bill dropped. If you want to know the truth about Costco next, and why that $1.50 hot dog is actually costing you hundreds of dollars a year, hit that subscribe button. I'm coming for the warehouse clubs next. I'm Kaka. Keep your wallet closed until you know the facts. I'll see you in the next one.